Okay, so we were told we should do a podcast.
We were literally told we should.
Yeah.
And then we thought, oh yeah, maybe we will.
3 people is like the magical number for doing a podcast. I feel like if you're 3 people that know each other very well and you're not doing a podcast, there's something wrong in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We can finally tick this one off. We've accomplished podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it? We're done?
I think we
did
like realistically.
Well,
we
yeah,
have already accomplished the podcast.
No one said that we should be doing a long running podcast.
Yeah.
They just said do a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's done. So
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You should see the setup we've got for this one minute podcast.
We got Ellie over there. She's got a microphone.
Hello there, I'm also here.
Oh, you have to push a
Ooh.
button.
Yeah, I pulled my level up there just in case you hear me farting or something over here.
Which the chance
do that in this
chance
room.
of that happening, it's actually quite high.
It's quite high,
After over
exactly.
an hour period, I'd put it like 95%.
Yeah,
probably.
no, I've already done 3 since we started.
Cool. Tight room.
Nice.
Now,
No.
we came up with we wanted to give a purpose to each podcast. I'm going to kind of be the host of this one.
Kinda.
I
Yeah.
don't know. How
Yeah.
this
Do we
works.
like? Do we
Not
wanna
kind
do
of, definitely. You're the host of this one.
introduction for this one? Like it's our first one.
Yeah.
Should we like?
Oh, God, maybe we should.
You reckon?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm Alan.
I'm Adam.
Oh yeah, I'm Rowan.
Yay.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
That's kind of that.
And
And if you have just clicked on this one and you have no idea who we are, we're Viva La Dirt League.
We're YouTubers who have an opinion, but I don't know. Should
Yeah.
you care about opinion?
I don't know.
Not.
Find out. We're not experts on anything.
No.
Well, and here's the important thing: is we are 3 white guys, and I don't think there's anyone else in this particular niche
No, I don't think so.
doing podcasts.
I
at
don't
the
think
moment.
so.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Especially as I was saying, the number 3
Yeah.
white guys.
Yeah.
So-
Can I just say how proud of us I am for really breaking new ground here? For doing this audio bit.
Yeah.
That I guess people can just listen to wherever they want.
Yeah,
In their
I mean,
car.
In a car.
yeah.
Breaking new ground, guys. Breaking new ground. Good work.
I think that's enough of just a general. If you don't know who we are, then you don't care.
Yeah, you don't
like,
care.
yeah.
Viva La Dirt League. Yeah, there it is.
Check it out on
the
YouTube.
pitch.
So okay, the name of this podcast, I think, is we were told we should talk about the pursuit of happiness.
Oh, God, we're getting
That's
deep in
strong.
episode
Right
1.
into- okay, wow.
For comedians, we're getting very deep in episode 1. Goodness
So-
gracious.
I think that's a good one to start with because it kind of encompasses a lot of things. It's a way of kind of delving into the origins of us in a way because it's part of the theme of it. So I actually came up with a few questions this morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good on
On
you.
the drive over.
Yeah,
Just
on the drive.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, very good.
What, Adam, did you think happiness/success was when you were younger?
Genuinely, when I was younger, I thought it meant being rich and famous. And now that we're mildly successful and being able to live our dreams, I don't think that anymore, interestingly.
Yeah.
I genuinely...
You're not happy all the time?
No.
Like me?
Interestingly enough, I'm not constantly in a state of bliss.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, eh?
That's
Yeah, no, I genuinely thought happiness back in the day was the goal was to get rich and famous, and that was it. And I was like, so a lot of my goals when I was young was like, yeah, I'm going to be a famous musician. No, I'm going to be a famous actor. No, I'm going to be a famous director.
I'm kind of the same, man. It was really the happiness. I will achieve happiness when I unlock this thing, this almost unattainable thing. I put happiness behind like a really high wall that I had to scale over.
For the longest time, I was embarrassed by the fact that I genuinely knew myself that being rich and being famous was the goal.
Absolutely. And so same for me. Like I went to drama school going, I exactly the same. Like, and the thing is,
really
no one would
selfish
kind of say
really.
it, but I knew deep down inside, I was like, once I'm rich and famous,
I'll be happy.
and fucking all the bitches.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. But I'm like, when I was like 20, I'm like, that is what it's all about.
Yep.
When I'm rich and famous, then and that's the key. Then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
So
Until then, no.
So and exactly as I said, got it.
And that is the end of the
done.
podcast.
Shall we finish the podcast?
Yeah.
now?
So
Okay.
guys,
So,
everyone listening at home, just
so the
become rich and famous and unlock eternal happiness.
Yeah. Moral of the story is, it worked.
Congratulations, man. That's so dope. Good. Done. Eternal happiness forever.
Eternal happiness forever. So it turns out that's Didn't work out that way.
No.
That's not how life seems to
Yeah,
work.
no, you often find that it's not the way
Yeah,
it works.
you kind of find out that it's all relative, and any success you have becomes normal quite quickly, actually. And then any problems you had before you had 1 million subscribers stays.
Yeah.
It doesn't leave.
Yeah.
So the follow-up, or the next question that I've got there is, what do you think happiness/success is now? How do you define it now?
It's a
when I
tough one,
when I become rich and famous, rich and
So,
famous.
I feel like we've just discussed this.
Yeah, I think when we hit 10 million subscribers,
Yeah.
and I think then I'll unlock eternal happiness. I'm putting it behind.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
okay. So just to clarify, So the moment we hit 10 million subscribers on YouTube,
Yeah.
we'll be
You
like,
clocked
that's
it.
it.
Yeah.
And just immediately, boom, unlocked. Infinite happiness.
Yeah, 'cause it's
You know
another
that
digit.
meme image where it's like a person cross-legged, like
Yeah.
ascending, and there's like colourful and all the sparkles around
Yeah.
them. It's that basically.
Yeah.
You ascend and you achieve happiness.
And you're
Yeah.
like,
Whenever I practice mindfulness or anything, all I see is our subscriber count going up,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I
Genuinely?
need to. Yeah, that's it, man. That's
Yeah.
no God.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, fucking hell, bro.
but
But
in all seriousness-
genuine answer. It is kind of moments now that I feel fulfilled in what I'm doing, and I don't necessarily mean that like in terms of fame or in terms of making money. It's something, whether or not it's creative or kind of a lot more business minded these days, is you're kind of going, I'm achieving something, and the thing that I'm achieving makes me happy, basically.
I think I've matured to the sense where I've kind of discovered that happiness isn't this continuous thing. It's moments. Like it really is like
yeah.
quite fleeting moments
It is.
of like just if both the kids are behaving and we're having a good day, like a really good day at home, and the sun's out, and like just playing in the pool or something. That's just like you just catch it. The trick is you have to catch yourself in that. And, like
Yeah, get that moment and go, oh, I am happy right now.
Yeah, and I have moments with that here as well, like especially at the end of a long day here and just walking around the studio that we've built and stuff. It's like, yeah, just little moments.
I don't ever feel happy on payday.
Yeah.
Do you feel happy on payday? Do you?
Well, no,
do you
because at the moment my
genuinely-
payday's literally just onto the mortgage, so it's like it's actually quite a depressing reminder how this is the opposite. But like,
Yeah,
yeah, I see what you're saying. I think though, to my point, it's the idea of continual happiness that I had as growing up is no longer there. Like, it's unattainable to be constantly happy.
Another thing that I actually think I these days tie my happiness a lot to the happiness of other people as well. Like whether or not it's like close friends and family, knowing that whether or not I'm doing something that's making them happy, or I'm helping facilitate a scenario that they're in that's making them happy, it's kind of like that community thing, or that like the concept of the village thing, where you're making an impact on the other people in your lives. And I guess for the three of us specifically, knowing that that's happening for all of the fans for Viva La Dirt League actually makes me happy as well these days. Like I quite enjoy when I get like a really nice message on the only platform I check is Discord. On Discord, saying something nice about the impact that Viva La Dirt League's had on them.
Yeah,
that is one of the things. Like when fans run into us, and I have people on my Twitch kind of go like, "Oh, do you get annoyed by it?" And I go, "I've never once ever been annoyed by a fan coming up and just fanning." Like,
no one.
That's what I mean.
How lovely it is to have, because it's always a lovely interaction. How nice is it to have someone go, I love you.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like,
Thanks.
their happiness makes me, because just my literal presence at that moment is making someone else happy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, of course, that's a fucking great thing. Why would I be angry at that?
So, yeah, and I mean the extreme example of that as well is kids. When you have your own kids, seeing how happy they are, you're like, that's the epitome. I think that's the most happy I ever am is when they're happy. If they're but on the contrast to that is if they're having a bad day, I will too have a bad day.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of we're slowly discovering the things all the Buddhists and
we'll figure it out.
Already know. And
and
they're
I've
like,
been
oh my God,
actively
we've been
telling
saying
us.
this the whole time. It's about giving back. It's about
It's about other people.
No,
It's about family. It's about friendship.
We've figured it out.
now.
We're starting to figure it out for ourselves.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
The other thing that makes me really, really happy is going and buying something. Yeah, participating in
absolutely. Buying something big.
Buying something big.
Yeah.
The more money you spend, the
Yeah,
better.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And that's
Buying
really
something
what we're
better
trying
than
to-
everybody else has.
But that's actually the
Yeah.
main key is looking
like-
at Alan bought a new laptop. I'm going to buy the slightly more
Yeah.
powerful one.
Yeah.
Or just going to
And
somebody's house
and
and seeing their TV and being like, I'm going to buy a TV 2 inches bigger than that.
And knowing that you're beating
better
your
than
friend.
them.
You're beating them.
Yeah.
So when
So
they come
to
around to your house, they
summarize-
will feel shame.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that will make me
Exactly.
happy.
Yeah, the shame that you see on their face.
Yeah,
going,
that's-
oh, you got a bigger TV.
Yeah, that makes me
Yeah.
happy and it fuels me.
Yeah.
So that to summarize, the key to happiness is
Bigger TV.
lots of money, beating your friend, and with bigger and better things.
And being famous.
That's if you take one thing away
I
from this
figured
podcast.
The funny thing is, you know how you talk about you have those moments where you go, oh God, it's a moment I've realized this is good. It's a good moment.
Yeah.
I find I go, oh, I'm having a good moment. Like I feel, and then I take myself out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Like you go,
Yeah.
I should stop.
I know
Wow,
what you
everything's
mean.
Beautiful right now. I should just
Thank
take a
fucking
moment
God, it's never happened to me.
and appreciate and
Enjoy
then
it.
like tense up and appreciate it.
Yeah.
This is good. Yes, enjoy this.
It's
moment.
ironic, isn't it? Because
It's
you
ironic.
want to be aware of it,
Yeah.
but as soon as you become aware of it, the anxiety of losing that moment
Kind of,
becomes really unavoidable. Have you felt this?
That's what I was just saying. I thank God I've never felt that.
Now you will. After
Yeah,
you told
no,
that.
you've just ruined happiness for me. Thanks, guys. No, I often find it's like almost like riding that wave. Like I have the opposite. I go, oh my God. The realization I'm quite happy at this very moment. I go, oh God, and it makes me happier almost.
Yeah.
That would, man, that's good.
Yeah.
Like
That's really
that
frustrating.
is-
that you can-
Almost.
that you can just fully indulge in nice moments.
Yeah.
I feel like mine. I feel like I can relax and like ease into moments a lot more now since going on a bit of a mental health journey that I'm sure we'll get into at some stage. On the podcast.
Can't talk about it anymore because
No, that's
going
gonna
to
be another episode.
No,
Shut up, Alan.
I'm
Shut up,
pivoting.
shut up.
Immediately.
Shut up.
Mental health, guys. It's serious.
It's a thing.
But now, recently I've just really found myself being able to relax into them without the fear of, I don't know, losing them and overanalyzing them. And
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what it is because when I am in a happy moment, I do try and go, what about it is making me happy? Just mainly so I can
the
appreciate
bigger
it.
TV,
Yeah, the bigger TV, exactly.
Exactly.
the extra 2 inches.
Coming back to the main point of this.
Like the other day when we had our first proper game day green screen back to back for D&D. I realized as I stood up from the table at D&D, I was like, oh my God, I'm actually happy. I'm having a good time. I'm with friends. We're playing a fun game. We're living it. I don't know, we're bringing it back to dreams. We're living our dreams. We're having an awesome time and just playing the fool. And I was like, oh my God, how do I, what are the keys here? And I was going, friends, great. They're happy as well.
Yeah.
Makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a happy crew around us. We're doing something we love. And I think that's easy to keep riding that wave for the rest of the day.
And I'm just going to take a moment just to test the ASMR. This is the wee ASMR segment that I've just created.
I love the ASMR segment.
Who knows?
Hey, Ron.
But I just want to say,
How's it going, Ron?
in the most ASMR way that I can, hi.
Hey, Ron. Oh. Oh, my
Oh my God.
Yeah, hold it. Listen, you got headphones on. I don't,
Okay.
so deal with it. Oh shit.
Oh wow.
There.
This is a segment.
That's a segment.
Thank you, Ron.
Oh,
The
great.
new ASMR
good.
segment.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Cool.
What was my next question?
That'll be
Sorry,
that'll be the moment anyone kind of walks into somebody's room and they're listening to a
Yeah.
podcast. They'll it'll be that. Yeah.
I've got a confronting question now.
Oh, no.
We should have read these questions before we.
No.
Just really.
No, I think the
No,
good purpose is not to.
Yeah. Okay. Go.
This one's quite simple, actually. Are you happy?
At this very moment, I genuinely am. Yeah. Again, bring it back to trying something new. Friends.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a coffee in hand. I am, at this very moment, I am happy.
I am content. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I am right in this very moment. I am content. Are you happy, Ron?
At this very moment.
At this very moment, I I'm not unhappy,
Content.
but I wouldn't say I'm happy or content.
I also don't. It's a weird thing where being happy or even being content is there's a lot of pressure placed on it in society. I think it should also be fine to be sad. The amount of that is, again, don't want to stray into the mental health chats yet.
Yeah.
But
I think the nature of happiness is going to stray into that. Yeah.
They are one of the things that I also help deal with my mental health is going. It's fine to not be in a good mental state. You can't be in a blissful state of happiness constantly. You can't even be content constantly.
Absolutely. It's fine to feel human emotions.
Yeah.
It's really weird having...
Woke up on the wrong side of the bed, fucking fine. Just
yeah.
deal with that. I mean, don't deal with it sounds bad, but like just be unhappy for the day.
Yeah. And just look after yourself. Like just don't, just allow yourself to live in that space and, be. And it will change because it always changes.
Yeah.
I think that's great advice, Adam. Great advice.
I've heard you say that advice before, which I think is good. Like literally be where you are. Don't try and force yourself to be happy.
And then also when you know how it is quite confronting when either a friend or a family member is unhappy or in a bad mood. Is also to let other people be unhappy.
Yeah.
Don't try and force them to be happy or try and be like, I'm going to do something to make them happy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's nice to do things to make friends and family happy, but just let them be unhappy as well.
Yeah, it's weird having kids and having this chat because you get a real pure sense of emotion through kids because they won't try and hide anything and they won't pretend to be happy. You just see the whole rainbow of emotions all the time, and it is the boiled down vision to your point about seeing the unhappiness through, and then by the time when you come out the other end, this is the extreme version because they're kids. They're after 10 minutes, she would have forgotten about it and she was playing.
Oh man, 10 minutes would be great.
10 minutes would be great. Yeah. This is what I mean. It's not but they bounce back and as parents, not to get into a parenting podcast, which I'm sure will come up later, our job is to just kind of tell them it's okay and see them through this. And we literally have this thing going where if Remy, or not solely because she doesn't understand words, but Remy, we're just saying it's okay to feel sad. Sometimes mommy and daddy feel sad. It's totally normal. And just reassuring them we love you. Again, don't want to get into parenting, and then by the end, just as they know that space is okay to come out of that, they'll,
Which I guess as the same tactic can be applied to, well, not a tactic, but the same philosophy to someone who's struggling with mental health.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you don't go, it's okay.
Yeah.
Be happy. Cheer up, be happy.
Yeah.
You kind of go, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yes.
That's probably the best you can do.
Yeah.
Legit.
Whenever Jen's either unhappy or having mental health issues, at the end of the day, it'll just be blanket, cup of tea, chocolate, goodbye.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily I'm leaving the room, but I'm just not going.
Yeah.
To...
Or if they want to be left alone.
Yeah. Gauge the vibe.
Exactly. You're not making that call.
Oh
shit.
This is the Would You Rather chat.
Oh my god, yeah, I like this. Would you rather? Would you rather?
What would you rather?
A or B? A or B, choose.
Can't wait to see.
A or B. Which one? Pick. You have to pick one.
You have to fucking pick.
You have to pick. It's taking too long.
Okay. Here we go. Would you? Well, actually, I'm going to theme it. To today's thing.
Okay.
Would you rather have eternal happiness, or be stabbed in the gut?
Well, first one.
Take the first one.
You would, wouldn't you? Because you'd get eternal happiness out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. The first one.
Easy choice, really, isn't it?
That's the thing. It is a pretty easy choice. You'd rather have eternal happiness because getting stabbed in the guts. It's not good.
So that's not a very. Not much of a decision required, really.
That's the good thing about that one, isn't it?
I mean, you made it easy for us.
I did. I mean, easy one for the first podcast.
Yeah, I'd lock down
eternal happiness. So just for the audience sake, my understanding of how this game works is that you tend to have two choices that are kind of it's a difficult choice.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like, whoa, what? You're trying to figure out
weighing up the pros and cons.
Yeah.
What are you going to pick?
I mean, pros and cons of eternal happiness stabbed in the gut. Like, don't want to be stabbed.
What are the pros of being
super easy? There's no choice to be.
Let's put this
made.
back on Adam. What are the pros of eternal happiness?
Oh man, you get eternal happiness.
Yeah. What are the pros?
Always happy. That's great.
What are the pros of getting stabbed in the gut?
Not getting stabbed in the face.
And so I didn't think about that. You're not getting stabbed in the face.
But you also, with eternal happiness, don't get stabbed in the face.
That's true. That's why
eternal
happiness is the better. That's why everyone picks that. Yeah. Everyone always picks eternal happiness.
Yeah.
No one wants to be stabbed in the gut.
Yeah. A or B.
It's a difficult choice.
It's the most difficult choice.
A or B. I choose. We chose A this time.
Yeah, because you don't want to get stabbed in the gut.
Don't want to get stabbed in the gut.
Yeah.
I'll take the eternal happiness. Yeah, boy.
I never fully answered the question. Am I happy?
Yeah.
So
You skirted it,
I
I'm
kind
sorry.
of was like, I tend to live my life, and this is kind of an observation my wife Claire has made, and I think a lot of people know me. I tend to live a life pretty flatline. Like I don't have major lows or major highs. Like I'm kind of like for the most
Which sounds really
I
comfortable.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, it's a kind of a comfortable thing, which is I can be quite
You're
grateful
not numb.
for. I'm not numb. I just don't, and this is my journey with life. Really, is that life is, in my opinion, the big lesson you learn from life is about learning to not care.
Yeah. Totally.
Kind of, not
In a way.
learn to stop giving a fuck. Is kind of been my journey, and I feel like I witnessed other people slowly come to that realization as well.
Yeah.
And so with that comes, what the great thing about that is you don't, that bad thing happened. Oh well. But also with that also comes, oh my God, we got a studio. That's incredible. Oh well. Like
Yeah.
like
It's
It's squashed from the top
everything
and bottom.
Just take the
top
bottom
and
off.
bottom.
Yeah,
it just
exactly.
everything becomes a bit more
yeah.
neutral.
Yeah. I remember feeling that with when I was taking
Mental health
SSRIs.
meds.
Like
Yeah.
where I wanted that bottom gone so much. And so I took the drugs and I took the top off, and then I was just kind of floating through life like, oh man, I feel no joy. And it became apparent to me quite quickly that I'd rather feel the lows and the highs.
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure how high your highs are and low your lows are, but I had the same thing with my depression medication. As I couldn't. I needed the highs, and I was like, well, if the low. This was obviously when I was much younger. I was 21, 22.
Yeah.
I was like, if the trade-off is having to have the lows as well, I'm fine. I'll have the lows as well because I need the highs.
Yeah. But in saying that, you're not numb like.
I'm not numb.
But
no. And in many ways, I'm kind of grateful for it. But in terms of the thing that I'm always that makes me unhappy is when I look at my calendar and I go, "There's a meeting every day this week."
Yeah.
And the thing that makes me happy is when I look at my calendar and I go, "Do you know what? Do you know how you know when I'm happy? Is when I stream lots."
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's
Because
it
meant that I had days free and time and stuff, and that's what makes me happy.
You look happy streaming.
Yeah, because I am.
Yeah.
Because when I'm streaming twice a day, that meant that I was
that was
like
a good day.
I was like, I feel like streaming.
Yeah.
Because I got time. The time, having free time makes me happy, and I don't have much free time at the moment.
Yeah, we have very different relationships when it comes to streaming.
Yeah.
I think I could be in the same page as you if the life around the stream. Like I can't. Whenever I stream, it's cramming it into my life rather than a luxury that I can just start up whenever I want. It really started stressing me out every time I was loading it up. Like, and again, it was just a measurement of happiness to bring it back to the.
And it also you're also measuring it against other.
And I'm measuring it against
primarily us.
Yeah,
really,
yeah, absolutely, of course.
And that's one of the things I struggle with. Streaming a lot as well as going.
And obviously view numbers. That's a massive one.
Yeah,
as well.
either view numbers or donations, and you're physically measuring yourself against others.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Which is a great thing to do for happiness.
Yeah, no, legit. That's anytime we squad stream or anything. That's something I just try. I've been blocking that out of my peripheral every single time for the last few months. I'm not even gauging that. And it does that. Just makes it a lot more palatable. Which is, it's almost like the fact that I'm still measuring myself to that subconsciously. I don't want to do it. It's just something that I am aware of. That's almost the most gutting thing, is that I still feel that I should be that figure matters to me. I don't know. There's with streaming that it's not just about the enjoyment of streaming. I think it could be if I could commit more time to it, but at the moment.
I must say I have come to terms a lot more with it recently, but I really struggled with it in the early days.
Yeah.
Really
Totally
struggled.
Yeah.
Was streaming something, maybe especially for you? Excuse me, hang on, I'm about to do a cough.
Oh, that was a very fatherly cough. Goodness gracious.
Well, I'm nearly 40. We'll get into that in a sec.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. Sorry. Excuse me.
Have you double checked? You don't have the figures wrong. You could be turning 39 and you just mixed it up.
Or you could be turning 41.
Or maybe you're turning 41.
Yeah.
Maybe you're already
just
40.
One sec. Ah! Fuck! Okay. Sorry. Okay, we can move it back. What were we talking about? We're talking about... I can't believe I'm turning 40.
Yeah, 40.
He's
literally
turning
less than a month.
40.
Fuck me. Oh, God, fuck. Okay,
I
sorry.
am
Sorry, hang on.
Roman, for those
turning
for me, Roman's been the guy for the longest time that paves the way. You have one of these people in your life as well that paves the way for getting older to make it less and like gutting
painful.
for me when I get to that age. So when you turn 40, I think by the time I get to 40, I'll be all right with it because you would have been 40 for a few years.
And I've gone, and I go, it's the same.
Yeah.
Nothing really changed.
Yeah, Body
But
still
for me,
hurts.
it's Cohen. Cohen Holloway, wonderful New Zealand actor.
very
Very funny.
Wonderful New Zealand actor.
I wish he lived up in Auckland so we could give him more stuff.
You may have seen him in early board episodes and in Wrecked as the coach. So going back to happiness, do you think you would be happier if you were younger?
Well, I know for a fact that I've gotten happier as I've gotten older.
Yeah, I genuinely think I've gotten
But if
happier.
I had a younger body, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, I guess it's the body thing.
If you can put my mind back in a younger body, then that. But if I went back to being younger, then it's the absolute opposite, and I'd be back in the horrible place. Yeah.
I am much happier now than I was when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
100%.
I don't quote me on the science here, but I have read things rather that say that as your brain ages, genuinely it evens out a lot more. Like the mind of a teenager, especially because of hormones, and the mind of a young adult is just over the fucking place.
Yeah.
It's
And does that? I wonder if that keeps on happening because I don't know if this is just the older people that I've hung out with in my life, which are my parents and like their parents and aunties and uncles and stuff, but. Do you just get content at some point? Like I'm feeling pretty content now, but that's sandwiched between being not content and fluctuating highs and lows. But they seem in a pretty happy level of contentment. Or is that just that generation?
It could be, but I think one, it probably is that generation. But two, people are really good at hiding it, man.
Yeah, true.
Like
Yeah.
we obviously know about your mental health journey and each other's mental health journeys, but when I look at you day to day, you look pretty contented.
Yeah, even
and
when I was
you
going
look
through the
like
really rough patch.
you're getting through it pretty well. And
Yeah.
I know your kids aren't very old yet, but they probably look at you and go, "You're dealing with it really well." And
Yeah,
you're
probably.
a functioning adult.
Yeah.
Whereas in your mind, you're going, "Everything is terrible."
Yeah.
I remember one.
I laugh, but I shouldn't laugh.
One day, we were doing D&D. I guess this is maybe a year or two ago, and and you were really struggling with your mental health.
Like you said at lunchtime, you wanted to end the day there.
Yeah.
Oh man, I broke down.
Yeah, you were really struggling.
Yeah.
But the point is that you could the final product you couldn't tell.
I haven't actually looked back over that footage, and I think I'm quite scared to look over that footage because I know
you'd be able to see it in yourself.
I think I'd be able to see it.
Maybe you'd be able to see it, but
Maybe.
I remember kind of you were talking and it's like, okay, let's get on with it, and then we got on with it, and you look completely fine to me.
In fact,
I was like, man,
that's insane because we know each other so well, all three of us, and like that, and that's it's literally it was acting, but I think it's insane how anyone can hide
Put
this stuff
that
from
mask
the
of
people
happiness
closest to them.
Yeah.
Like I remember walking away from that day being like, you did some of the best D&D that day that you'd ever done up until that point.
Fucking hell. It's a big blur to me because I remember there was two things going on in my head. There was, and that both of which were taking up equal real estate in my brain. And the first one was maybe even the first one was the D&D game that was taking place, and the other one was this inner monologue of like literal anguish going on where it was just like it's really difficult to explain, but it was just pain. And just trying to push through that, and it's so weird. The irony of trying to be funny while feeling that way was quite insulting during the thing, like trying to make other people laugh while I'm just having the worst time.
I, in talking about this, have remembered the episodes that it covers.
Yeah, I think part of it was the jumping off the boat.
Yeah,
one.
Very near.
Yeah.
I would challenge you to go back and find out what those episodes are. I reckon you'd struggle.
Yeah,
unless
man,
you remember,
spot
of
it,
course.
man. Struggle to spot it.
Struggle to spot it.
Yeah. No,
I remember the jumping off the boat thing. Part of my thing was like, oh shit, we're trying to get through this, and like I've just fucking opened a can of worms here.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like I thought it would just be a quick did it.
No, Rob literally, I remember he offered at lunchtime, he was like, look, I can come up with an excuse for you to leave the table. Because I was like, and I really was about to, but then I just was like, oh, it would just be weird. It would just be weird. It's like, I'm going to have a shitty day anyway. I may as well just come back.
Have a shitty day here.
Have a shitty day here and finish it off and do the job. Yeah. But it was like, that's definitely the hardest Viva work I've ever done, I think.
One thing, jumping off the whole idea of your happiness, that is one thing that gets me down as well. Just like I was saying earlier, when other people are happy, it makes me happier. When other people are sad, it makes me sadder.
Yeah, man,
as
I
well.
remember a really nice message from you that day after we got back.
I do, especially obviously the person closest to me, Jen, when she's struggling, I struggle as well. When you guys are struggling, I struggle as well.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
But mainly because your thoughts then start going out to them and your thoughts are going to more negative places.
I feel like Jen might be the same because I remember getting a really nice message from her as well. So my sadness rubbed off on you, which probably rubbed off on Jen. And I was like this domino. And I was like, oh no, I remember getting this message from you guys being like, it's like that's the opposite of what I want to happen and stuff. But other people don't feel shit.
But other people thinking about it, obviously.
Yeah. Your little empath. Is that the word?
Are you guys ready for another question?
I think so, man.
Yes, that is the word.
I mean, we're kind of covering all these questions anyway, but
throw it at us,
you ready?
man. Yeah,
I'm ready.
Gonna come close to the mic for this one.
Okay.
What would make you more happy?
10 million subscribers.
There it is.
Yeah, done it. Lock it in.
10. Okay. Genuinely, what would make me more happy? Oh man, that's a big question. I don't know because of one of them would be fewer money woes. I don't like the financial sitch that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people around the world are feeling this right now.
To that, yeah. Money woes get a lot of people because it impacts so much.
It impacts so
about your
much.
life.
What it impacts is like we haven't had the only way that Charles and my family had a holiday was we went to Australia for a week just a few weeks back, and the only reason we could afford that was because we had when we were locked over in Australia with COVID, and there was that lock between New Zealand and Australia. We tried to book tickets multiple times, and then the tickets would. They'd be like, oh, you can't travel anymore.
It turned into like a credit.
And it would turn into a credit.
Yeah.
And we had this credit notice that came up saying, hey, blah, 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 blah. But that's one of the things that I miss the most is just being able to take a break from our life and go somewhere completely new and just switch off.
So time, money.
I like legit. Do you know, it's being less stressed. I think it comes to, for me, probably about stress. The money thing boils down to stress. The work thing is stress. It would just in being a parent.
But that's a very broad statement to say less stress. Like that's kind of such a broad statement.
Yeah, is it too obvious? Too obvious?
To me, that's like duh.
Yeah, right. But I mean, it's a legit answer. But
I don't mean to belittle the answer.
Yeah,
I want more. I want more of an answer.
I want to. You go first.
I do have an answer. So
okay. Yeah, you go.
One thing, this is going to be a little bit deep as an adult conversation, but one thing that would make me happier is a couple more like proper close friends.
Oh yeah.
Like I genuinely feel that as I've gotten older, I've lost friends.
That man.
I know that you say the
absolutely.
opposite, that you want not less friends, but like.
I don't say that. I find it hard to
make new.
I definitely don't have time. I don't have time to kind of water friendships.
Yeah, yes, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I absolutely.
I
hard out.
Like genuinely, I would. It's like you guys and like some of my high school, like I've kept in touch with a couple of high school friends, but they're really starting to go distant because they've gone around the world and stuff. But like when I was younger, I had friend groups. I had so many friends. Like it was that group and that group, the high school group and the uni group and that group and this group.
It's just not
sustainable. And now it's
eh?
just it's not sustainable. But as you just become an adult, they all just drift away. Like I have a lot of acquaintances.
Yeah,
I like acquaintances, but like actual proper close friends you can depend on.
Totally.
I'm the same, man.
Any.
There have been notable times in like really realistically, my only close friends are in Viva, and thank God I think part of what makes Viva so important to me is not just the business side of it, but it's just this confirmation that I will get to hang out with my friends on a regular basis, and that's but outside of Viva, man, like I like you, acquaintances that are just kind of like, I'd still classify some of them as friends, but they're very much
a lot of them
when
as
I
friends.
catch up with them, it's very much it feels like a hey, nice to meet you again.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? You never get to that friend level of like just hanging out. I can't remember who I was talking to. It might have been you, Ryan, where I can't remember the last time I just hung out with friends and got bored with friends. Like got hung out on a couch and just got bored together. Just lay on a couch and just like
did nothing.
I'm bored. What do you want to do? Like that. There's always an agenda when I meet.
I don't imagine many adults would have.
No, I guess not. Yeah, that's. I mean, very. But I miss that. Like I miss just like you say, having a group of friends that that you just hang with. And I remember making a real effort recently with someone else, like completely outside. It was just this guy that I met. And I was like, oh my God, like I can see you being a friend. Like, let's hang out. And we hung out a couple of times. I was like, this is great. And then he was like wanting to catch him into other show. I was like, it literally came to, I don't have time. Like I don't have time. And when he was wanting to hang out, I was like, I'd rather just chill. So I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to that at the same time, because I just don't have the capacity outside of Viva and family and me time.
Yeah. It's also really gutting that like, this is a few years ago now when I was working at TVNZ, there was a couple of people there who I was like, oh man, you're really cool.
Yeah.
And like trying to foster friendships.
Yeah.
And feeling like you're putting in a lot of hard yards and you're not getting it back.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, am I a shit person?
Oh no.
Yeah.
And I've heard they're like, I got heaps of friends. I don't need like this.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
And like I hear that story from a lot of people as being like, especially people who move to a new city and trying to make friends, that kind of stuff.
Totally. Like all those people are already set up.
And as an adult, you hear the story so many times. It's hard to make friends.
I think a lot of people listening to this are going to relate to this.
Oh, there's the one thing that fascinates me is the concept. I hear about people like Claire when she moved to New Zealand. Like she just moved to, I can't remember how many years ago now, not long before we met. And just as an adult, starting from scratch and going, I'm now going to make a whole friendship, a whole life.
Like if I moved somewhere else, it would end up me in a room playing video games in a different country. Like that'd be it, and probably just trying to sync up with you guys to play Thursday boys night.
You try and get on PUBG with us on Thursday boys night, but that because we've not got proximity would slowly drift apart.
It would slowly drift apart. Yeah, I've got
then,
3. I'd be like, man, that's 3 a.m. for me. I can't keep committing.
Because what is it when you're younger, making friends? You don't really. Well, this doesn't apply to everyone. Some people will be like, oh, I've always struggled to make friends. Like, fuck up. Like,
totally.
But a lot of people find it easier to make friends. Like. And it's a proximity thing. At high school, they're just there. Everyone's just there, and you're crammed
it's most
with
certainly
them.
a proximity.
It's absolutely. It's a proximity thing about people being forced into the same space over and over and over again.
That's why it's school friends, and then it's university friends. If you go to university, and then it's work friends, proximity.
Yeah, you never really hear about
I guess it's work friends, so most
bar
people
friends.
Yeah.
Like the friends you met at the bar.
And if you moved overseas and like, okay, I'm starting a brand new life, you'd be like, I'm going to make some bar friends.
I'm going to make some bar friends.
And they're not going to be good friends.
They'll be...
Because
they'll probably be
the only way to hang out with friends that aren't proximity friends is to put in fucking hard yards to make sure you're doing things with them.
But then you don't want to go too hard because they'll be like, oh my God, you're a bit desperate.
Then you become that person because and they're already established and they've got their whole thing and they're like, oh, I was kind of interested in maybe being this person's friend, but they're kind of
really
trying a bit hard.
Yeah, and I don't want to bring them along to my my friend group, like
Because
they won't know who he is. So like, I don't know.
Because I've obviously we've talked about this before. We've also all had the flip side when you've got someone trying to be your friend.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're a cool person, Alan. Like, do you want to hang out? And you're like, either you've not got the time, or
That's
you're
it. It
just
literally
like,
comes down to time. Yeah,
I've only just decided that me and Ben are gonna be good friends.
Oh,
yeah, you're gonna be.
I've decided that
interesting.
I've known him long enough. I've put him on like on a trial.
For like 10-year trial.
years.
Yeah.
And I don't want to let him get too close because
Yeah.
what if it turns out
I'm
that,
still on the
like-
fence with Ben.
Same.
Yeah,
Because
I'm still on the
he's been messaging me, and I'm like,
Yeah,
And I've decided I think I'll make a small
yeah.
effort with him.
okay, yeah,
I feel like you're rushing.
Do you
I
reckon?
feel like you're rushing into
Yeah.
it a little bit.
yeah. Same.
I think you need to just really like reassess that.
Yeah.
Like, look, man, like, is he really somebody you want?
He gets
like,
a bit like I am worried that sometimes like he'll message me like a bit too much and I'll be like, oh,
Yeah,
you're
same.
being a bit clingy,
Yeah.
Ben.
He was messaging me about Baldur's Gate earlier
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
and I was just like, bro, can you just like?
a few weeks.
It's just the same game we're playing, bro.
a few weeks
Can
ago, he was
you-
like, Overwatch ? And I was like, pass off, desperate much?
yeah, right.
That is correct. Actually.
So okay, I let me know how it goes. Friendship with Ben, and I'll consider opening me.
I'm worried it's going to end up being a bit just a cling.
He's a clinger. He's a fucking clinger.
Yeah.
I think we're getting towards
getting
the
close to
end
time.
of episode
Holy shit.
1. Oh
That's
my
insane.
God.
That's like that's nuts.
So
That was actually not too hard.
That wasn't
No.
too hard. Yeah, that wasn't too hard. And we had had a morning coffee.
yeah,
and
we were
just
told we
chilled
should do a
out.
podcast, and we freaking did.
Was there any other?
first-
Is there anything out of quick
Well,
fire?
I mean, quick fire. Okay. If you were given $1 billion,
Yeah.
how would you live the rest of your life?
Do you know? I'd make
Not too differently,
I'd
to be
not
honest.
too differently. I'd probably live in a nicer house, and I'd make bigger shit for Viva.
I
Kind of like again going back to I always want
yeah.
I always want to be making shit.
The money
like-
wouldn't solve it, because
Money wouldn't solve it.
I'd be happier in that I wouldn't have any money woes, but
Yeah, I could.
I,
Yeah, that'd be nice.
if I wouldn't quit my job, I wouldn't.
And you
quit
could do a
Viva
lot of
and-
good for a lot of other people.
True.
That'd be cool.
Because if I was to quit Viva and just quit everything and just be like, I'm going to be on permanent holiday because I've got the money to be now, I
Yeah.
would be miserable.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
here's what I'd do. I wouldn't quit Viva because Viva's my life.
Yeah.
But I'd donate a tiny fraction of that money. I go
Yeah.
just give Viva all the infrastructure it needs that I don't have to go to meetings anymore.
Yeah. Maybe just come to Monday meeting. And
I come
then
to
the
Monday
rest-
meeting and
Monday
go,
meeting.
oh, do we
Monday
have another
meeting and filming.
Can we just hire someone to take that fucking meeting?
You could
for me?
hire a perfect
Yeah.
body double and just send them along to everything.
Yeah.
It'd be like, it would be like, we'd probably be able to guess it, but
Yeah.
you'd have enough money to get almost. They'd probably need a bit of
Yeah.
plastic
Get Sam
surgery or
Smith.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get Sam Smith to fill in for you.
Rowan is notorious for rapping, for dropping some sick beats, while and random scenarios, and they're always, they're always really,
Amazing.
this,
Excellent
yes,
raps.
yeah, they're always he's putting his heart and soul into everyone,
Yeah.
and so we've decided to let's always try and rap about relevant things from the podcast.
Okay, let's drop a beat.
Do you want? I've got 2 beats.
Okay,
Do you want me
let's
to?
hear them a little
yeah.
bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
the
yeah.
first one's this one.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
this sounds the start of this.
I need to feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, and then yeah. And then yeah, okay.
I like that. I like that. Yeah,
That was pretty good. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Okay, you ready?
Oh,
Uh huh.
Huh.
yeah.
Rowan
Oh.
stepping up to the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, we did a podcast. Yeah, a schmodcast.
Yeah.
What? Woo! What rhymes with podcast? I'll tell you what rhymes with podcast.
Also, the word podcast.
Podcast? Podcast?
Yeah.
Podcast? We talked about, we talked about happiness. We talked about fappiness. We talked about bibbidi bowl for crappiness.
Yeah.
Yo,
Uh-huh.
are you happy? Am I happy? Are you schmappy? Are you flippity dap? This is,
Yeah,
it rhymes.
yeah,
Oh, no.
yeah.
Do you want more?
Oh, is that okay?
I mean, I did a short one.
No, I think Ellie made a
Oh,
good
God.
call cutting it when she did.
Fade out that music. Fade out that music.
I love that beat. I
Yeah,
love
that's
that
a great
beat.
beat.
So there you go. That kind of sets the standard of the outro.
We did our
rap.
first podcast.
That was our first podcast, guys. We were told we should do a podcast, and we did a
And we did a
podcast.
Yay!
Hey! I was like, there's not that many people in the world.
It was just outside, like going,
Okay, right. Now I need to go to a meeting.
yeah, meeting.
Yeah, meeting. Ugh.